Well, my oh my, here I am again at Lakeside for just a little bit at the end of January. But yeah, here I am to catch a breather for a week and a half. And I think this will be good for me after going through more stress down south. And while I'm here, I would like to record a few videos on some topics that have been on my mind. And for this video, I know that this may not be the easiest subject to talk about or hear about, but I would like to talk about this because I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who can relate to the feeling of having been emotionally hurt. And when we think of having been emotionally hurt, maybe this has happened in the past where someone has said something rude to us, or we may have felt left out in a certain situation. Maybe we tried out for something and we were not accepted, and we felt really let down and hurt from that. And with how things have turned out with fate, we may feel very hurt from how things have turned out. And I know with how things turned out, I mean, God could see it. How in 2009, my father would pass away, and it was a bit early for his life at the age of 61, and it was very early for me when I was 16. And I know with how things turned out there with fate, I was not happy with that. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who can also say the same thing, how they lost a family member when they were very young. And with all of these things, yeah, there are a lot of people out there who feel emotional hurt. And it can feel difficult after the emotional hurt to go out and be kind and loving to other people. But my strong recommendation here and the strong encouragement is to still love other people after you've been hurt. And I recommend it and encourage it because, if we go out and hurt other people, then yeah, that's only inspiring more hurt and negative feelings towards other people. And then the people we hurt will go out and hurt others. And it leads to more hurt feelings and negativity in this world. And perhaps you have heard that saying, hurt people hurt people. And what it means exactly is that people who have been hurt and they have not resolved their hurt feelings, they go out and hurt others. People who have been hurt go out and hurt other people. People who have been hurt and they have not resolved the hurt inside of them, they go out and hurt others. And that leads to more people feeling hurt. And, we don't want to do that. We do not want to hurt other people. But rather, we want to remember the two greatest commandments. to love the Lord with all our heart, and also to love our neighbor. And I have talked about this before, how it makes a very big and positive difference when we treat others in a kind and loving way. And for other people out there who have been hurt, that can make a big difference. You know, instead of hurting someone who has already been hurt, if we show love and kindness to everyone, and especially with those who have been hurt, well, that can definitely transform somebody. It just might. You know, that could make someone who's been hurt start to think, wow, there are some really kind and caring people in this world, and I need to work on how I feel and start treating others in a better way. And something else that I just want to say is that when we think about the hurt that we have been through, yeah, it is definitely good to find the right people to talk to about what you have been through and how you honestly feel about all of it. You know, find the right people to talk to, and I hope that you have good company and they can listen to you and be kind to you and pray for you. And slowly but surely, you can work on how you feel, and you can work on all the hurt that you feel from the past. And, you know, hopefully over time, you can deal with everything that has happened and go forward in a way that is emotionally strong, and to not let the past turn you into someone who is always cranky and angry and rude to other people. Because there are people out there who never deal with the past, and then they treat others in a way that is cranky and angry and rude. But there are people who work on what they have been through, and they definitely work on it every day to not let the past control them with their emotions, but instead they work on being strong and still treating others with kindness and respect and love. And I know for me, that is definitely what I have been working on over the last 17 years, especially ever since my father passed away. And even before my father passed away, I know that there were a couple of times when I felt emotionally hurt. I know that there were a couple of stories where I wanted to date this girl or that girl, and I was rejected. And yeah, rejection is not a fun feeling. And there have been a couple of stories, which are now a long, long time ago, but they stay with me. There have been a couple of stories where I wanted to go out with somebody, and then there were some really mean words that were said. And I have shared these stories before. And I know I felt very hurt from a few dating stories when I was a teenager. And I felt very emotionally hurt by how things turned out with fate when my father went downhill in 6 weeks and he was gone. And I lost a parent who I was very close to, and he was very loving and supportive with me. And that was very, very tough on me. And it was very tough in 11th grade, 12th grade, graduating high school, starting college, graduating college, and then starting to get involved with a few jobs that I have really enjoyed, like working at Cedar Point, Kings Island, the youth ministry internship, and working at Lakeside. And throughout all of that, I know it's been very tough on me when I have realized my father is not alive to be here in person and share that joy with me. My father has not been alive to share that joy and experience with me. And it makes me feel very sad. It has made me feel very sad when I've thought about other people I know who have been the same age as me, and they had their father. They've had both of their parents alive throughout all of high school and college and beyond. And, I was not able to have my father alive for that. But I know I'm not the only person out there who has been through this. There are other people out there as well who can relate to having lost a parent at a young age. And also for me and other people out there, you can relate. I know I can think of a couple of times when I wanted some kind of opportunity and I did not get it. And in other situations, certain words have been said, and it felt very rude or embarrassing. And the point is, I have definitely experienced a lot of emotional hurt. And yet, I continue to remind myself, I do not want to turn into someone who is cranky and angry and rude. I do not want to turn into that kind of person all the time, because that would only lead me to hurting other people. But I do not want to hurt other people. I would never want to be known as that kind of person, and I was not raised in that way. And yeah, I know that things turned out in a way which were unexpected. In the first 16 and a half years of my life, I had two great examples of parents who taught me a lot of great old music, and they brought me to church every Sunday, and they also truly modeled how to be a great Christian with their words and behavior. And then my father passed so unexpectedly. But still, I was raised by two very great examples of parents, and I definitely want to keep it up. I was definitely shown how to be a loving and caring person, and I definitely intend even after all of the emotional hurt that I have been through. I definitely want to keep it up and be kind and caring and loving to other people. And I am very grateful for everyone who has been involved in my life over the last 17 years. The circles of people that I have had, and the good circles of people that I've had in Cincinnati and Lakeside. And for some people, a couple of them I don't really see in person that much, but there are a couple of people that I still talk to on the phone every now and then. And with all of these groups of people who have been people that I hang out with randomly and sometimes consistently, like the people that I've known at the Lakeside Gates and the people that I've known at church, I am very grateful for all of the love and support that you have shown me throughout all of these years, because that has been very uplifting for me, especially if I am feeling sad on certain days, because it can happen, like on Father's Day, and, well, sometimes just a random day when I feel emotionally hurt because of one thing or another. You know, I have shared my memories of a few different things that have hurt me over the years, and I know that I am not happy every second of every day, but it has made a very big and joyful impact in having all of these good people around me over the years. At the end of high school and in college, the good company I had and the church group that I had, and also since college, the same thing. My good circles of people and the church crowd and the Lakeside Gate crowd, all of that has been so impactful for me in a good way, because all of these people have been very loving and supportive with me. They have not been hurtful with me, even though I'm sure that with, all of these groups of people, there have been a few of them who have been hurt in the past. I know that I have really felt the love and support from so many people out there, and I truly appreciate it. And I know it has been very uplifting for me to feel the love and support from other people. And for you out there, the strong encouragement is to love other people after you've been hurt. And like I've also said, if you are dealing with hurt from the past, be sure to find the right people that you can talk to so you can work through any hurt that you have experienced and to go forward in a way where you can definitely work on controlling your emotions. And instead of turning into someone who is cranky and angry and rude, you can always focus on being the kind of person who is loving and caring towards others. To love the Lord, your God, with all your heart, and to love your neighbor. And just one other thing that I would like to share, because when we think about loving other people, yes, it is definitely good to listen to someone and to be there for someone, but also know that sometimes the right thing to do and the loving thing to do with some circumstances is to say the word no. And it may feel tough at times to say the word no, but sometimes it is good for someone out there if they are about to do something which could be very harming to themselves. I think back to the show Full House, and there is that episode from, oh, I think it is in season 8, when Stephanie, the middle daughter, is getting involved with her friend Gia and these two boys who are driving their car in a really crazy way. And yeah, it was very risky and dangerous what those boys were doing with their car. And they were putting themselves and Gia and Stephanie in real danger. And then Stephanie comes home and tells the oldest sister, DJ, about it. And then when Stephanie is about to go out and ride in that car again with those two boys who were driving in a crazy way, DJ intervened and said, "No, I'm not going to let you go." And DJ walks into the other room and almost tells the dad about what Stephanie wants to do. And then Stephanie was upset at first, and Stephanie went up to her room, and she did not get involved with riding in that car again with those two boys who were driving around in a crazy way. But then it turned out to be the right thing that DJ did by saying, "No, Stephanie, you are not going to go through with that really bad idea." Because we learn at the end of that episode that those two boys who were driving that car in a crazy way were in a car accident that night. And DJ definitely saved her sister, Stephanie, from getting hurt. And DJ did the loving thing by protecting her sister. And there are other circumstances where it is good to say no as well. And it can be the right thing to do. And also good for us. If someone out there is ever going to ask me or ask you for money, if someone is ever asking you for money for beer or cigarettes or drugs, then it's definitely good to say, "No, I'm not giving you money for that. No." The point is, it can be the right thing to do and the loving thing to do in certain circumstances to say no. And also, it is good to listen to other people if they are venting about a problem that they are having, if they feel really stressed out or sad. And it is a very loving thing to be there for someone. And like I've said, it is very good for all of us to be loving and caring to others. Loving people after you've been hurt. And I hope that with whatever hurt anyone out there has experienced, I hope that you can work through your hurt in a way that is healthy and talk to other people and be involved with a good crowd always, and go out there and still show love and kindness and honesty and self-control to everyone out there. I just wanted to share all of that today, and I hope that you have been able to make it to the end of this video here, and you have been able to listen to all of it. And I wish you the best when you are working through emotional hurt, and let us go out there and love other people. And instead of spreading hate and anger in this world, let us spread love and care to everyone out there. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say here in this video today. And as always, you will find this in the playlist with the serious talking videos. And as always, stay well, and I will see you all later for more videos here on YouTube. Thank you.